With LeBron James breaking Michael Jordan's 30-point record,
from 7 more seasons.
NBA media decided to have its favorite toxic debate, Michael Jordan versus LeBron James.
Okay, he has played 7 more years than Michael Jordan. How about this 30-point record, Swagoo?
What?
Did you know that Michael Jordan averaged 30 in his career?
What?
Yep, I did.
Did you know that Michael Jordan went 7 straight years averaging over 30?
What?
For LeBron James to be considered the 2nd greatest player of all time, Rich Paul, it is an insult.
When he's won, it is an insult.
I'll stop it.
With Michael Jordan fans refusing to give LeBron credit where it's deserved, with LeBron fans coming up with ridiculous epithets when faced with the bare bones stats.
Your guy was living in a dorm.
I'm not arguing with you about.
Your guy was living in a dorm, calling his mom for stamps at 18.
We're gonna break down this latest argument between Stephen A., Shannon, Sharpe, and Swagoo, and talk about how NBA media has rendered the NBA GOAT argument utterly pointless. Let's talk.
Let's go.
Get him,
Let's go.
Shay.
You want to
Get
do
him.
that?
Here's the thing. MJ, in his career, took 24,537 shots. He had 32,292 points. LeBron James, when he took his 24,537 shot, he had 33,920 points, which is 1,628 points more.
What?
So what, now we gotta engage in mathematical equations to prove that LeBron's better? Come on now. Then Shannon goes on to further show his lack of deep basketball knowledge by making this comparison.
Molly, the person that throws the ball more should have more passing yards. Wouldn't you assume the guy
Shannon.
that has more rush carriage on average is going to have more rush yards?
Shay,
Wouldn't
let me
you
handle
assume?
it.
Again, I must say,
What?
like, you're actually gonna make an argument for the greatest basketball player of all time by following it up with a football analogy? Oh, the one who throws the most should have the most yards? For a Pro Football Hall of Famer, you know that this is a point made out of pure emotion. Because truthfully, even Shannon Sharpe knows that A does not always equal B. Just because you throw the ball more doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna have the most yards. You still gotta have people to catch the ball. You still gotta play against defenses that allow you to throw the ball. It's a poor argument, and we're not even talking about football.
Shay just went through it. Same amount of shots, more points. Okay, that's important because can we not argue? Can we not argue that if LeBron was as volume of a shooter as Jordan and Kobe was in his career, we wouldn't be having a points conversation.
This is such a stupid argument. If he had the same freedom on offense as Michael and Kobe, he would average the same amount. Acting as if LeBron hasn't been the #1 option on every single team that he's been on. He could have done that had he wanted to, had he had the skill set to do so. That's something that LeBron fans don't ever acknowledge, is being a master of the mid-range like Kobe and Michael, taking that many shots required a specific skill set. LeBron could have done it, but he chose to be more of an assist and rebound guy while still getting a lot of points. Nothing wrong with that, but it's silly to say that, oh, if he had the more freedom, as if he didn't already. He always did, he chose not to. That's a big difference.
Can we just acknowledge that?
That being said, however, yes, we do have to acknowledge it. LeBron James has been in the league for 21 years and counting without ever taking a break, without ever taking a moment to even retire for a year, not once. Longevity is not a black mark against LeBron. It is absolutely something that need be acknowledged. However, other things need to be acknowledged as well if you're a LeBron guy.
And then we want to talk about scoring. We don't want to bring up the 6 rings. The fact that Jordan played 7 less years and still got 2 more rings. We don't want to bring up a 10-time scoring champion. We don't want to bring up a 9-time first-team All-NBA defensive player. We don't want to bring all of that up, so we just gonna stay with scoring.
Damn! Now you can see why Stephen A is the top paid dude in the world of First Take and sports. He just eviscerated them with the facts. Those things that he just said are the critical points in the GOAT argument. Michael Jordan has won 6 titles in 7 less years. Michael Jordan was by far the superior scorer, as proven by 10 scoring titles to 1. Michael Jordan was by far the superior defender as well, as outlined by the defensive first teams and the Defensive Player of the Year award. These are stone cold basketball facts. But then, when faced with this, Shannon responds with this.
Guy was living in a dorm, calling his mom for stamps at 18. Yo guy was living in a dorm, calling his mom for stamps and getting his laundry done at 19.
You just gotta ignore that.
Oh well, Michael Jordan was in college getting stamps from his mom while LeBron was on the NBA court. Oh yeah, well, there's a small reason for that. When Michael Jordan was playing, high schoolers weren't allowed to enter the NBA. Full stop. End of story. Done. Terrible point.
I got him number 2 all
when
time.
they first in the league.
I'm
not arguing with you about number 2.
Why is calling LeBron James the second greatest player of all time an insult? And it's true. Anyone who's a LeBron fan thinks that that is the biggest slander.
For LeBron James to be considered the second greatest player of all time, Rich Paul, it is an insult.
When he's won, it is an insult.
Whereas if you're a Michael Jordan fan, the notion that LeBron is better than him is so laughable to you that you're gonna dismiss any which way that LeBron is actually better, which also doesn't help the argument. Unfortunately, this argument, like the million before, ended with both sides being unmoved. The problem is, both sides were rooted in deep emotion and not too much facts. But I have to say, Stephen A, being the Michael Jordan supporter, was a lot more dealing with facts and numbers as related to basketball performance. Whereas Swagoo and Shannon Sharpe were using a lot of different epithets to say LeBron James is better. But a lot of them were not even dually applicable. We have to focus on what the two men have done in the NBA. Basketball only. Only then can we get a real idea of who the NBA's greatest player ever actually is. Peace.